Oh, look at it, bomb sight. Can't you tell I've been doing some shit? We've been playing and drilling and swearing and trying different fixings and fittings to make them all combine to turn into something. And we're still waiting on the slow boat from China. Got some bits turned up, but some bits turn up in 11 days and some of them seem to be taking 11 weeks. So there's caused a bit of a stalemate on my intended project. I've got the spool pipe, but I haven't got the bit to go on the end. I've had a few bits turned up, like this, which is for a, well, some people call them a Euro keg. They're a 21 litre. It doesn't undo the anti-tamper. You push it down, you can degas, but basically it's just a tool to aid screwing and unscrewing of your keg spare. Assuming you haven't got the anti-tamper tag in there. If you do, you need to depress the centre and turn it anti-clockwise, I believe, and it's still a bit sticky. Yeah, but the advantage with these over corny kegs is there's that seal and that seal, and that's it. So less chance of leakage. Obviously the clear disadvantage is the amount of access you've got to get in and clean the keg. So that's something I'm going to return to when I get to the CIP cleaner, which is nestled down here, which will be going on a extension piece so it can go inside one or be utilised for a corny keg, as I had that turn up. So that will go on the bottom of the tube, and the two little hose barbs, which will go off to the bear and gas disconnects so that fluid will flow through the dip tubes and obviously drain out through the keg. And it will just be a case of removing the spare on a commercial keg, and this will just be on its shaft. Obviously I'll need to unscrew this because it's not going to fit on a tri-clamp through, but they're not too expensive to buy, even if I sort of made two different fittings up. So we're still sort of stalemate. Everything's ready to go in there, just I've got to extend the probe cables there when I can get done. And I've just got a last 50 litre German keg to convert. Yeah, so we're look on the wonk actually, but never mind. I'm on the old camera because my other big JVC, I've got two of them, but I noticed sort of the battery only lasted about 10-15 minutes, and bang, it was no more. So I ordered a couple of batteries just to rebuild the battery pack. And that was in first week of October, and they still haven't bloody turned up. I don't know what the hell's happened to them. They've extended the time, so I can't even go through to do a claim that they may be lost in the post. But obviously during the sale, I did find the sort of heavy duty batteries, the longer, bigger ampage ones. There was a pair of those. So I've gone for them as well, and just wait for the batteries to rebuild. But I'm on the old camera I used to originally use, but I've got the other battery in that because that also has died as well. This is my second attempt at filming this. Normally I do them in one hit and they're done and gone. But the battery expired within about 1.12 minutes. So we had to go on the mains. But I've scrapped that then because I had done my usual and started waffling, and a nice 7-minute video turned into 18. which will probably happen with this one. Anyway, another little item I have turned up, staying on the tri-clamp theme, and the filtration. They're a little bit warped, but they do fit once you clamp them in. Don't know how the light's going on this. I'm aware the switch is. There we go. Don't know whether that's helping. Yeah, there you see. It's a tri-clamp gasket, but it has moulded in it. That's a 30 mesh screen, and that's 100. You can see there's quite a bit of difference. So I'm looking at adding one of these into my intended build, filter build, which is like an economy version of the big Hbw. But as I said earlier, I'm still waiting for the bleeding bits. Depending on how I configure it, obviously affects the cost, because you're looking sort of £4 or £5 for these. But to put one of these on the pre-filter, or post actually, so it will go in, out, filter through the strainer, and then this will be the second one. And obviously you've got the option on sort of brew day and secondary transfer to the keg using an ultra fine. I think this was about the finest one in these little tri-clamp gaskets. 100 mesh. If you go on the filter screen I've got on the big filter, I think that's up to 300, depending on what option you buy. But I see Mr. Keg Kingdom had a 25% off sale last weekend, although I think he's doing some German beer research by the looks of his post. He's in Germany, so I'm not expecting it to get posted this week. But as some of you know, I have a 70 litre pot that I bought quite a few years ago when I upgraded from the old traditional American turkey roasting pot. And obviously it's going to be redundant with the 3 keg vessel system. But my only wonder is, if any of you watching have got a 3 vessel system, obviously they're 50 litre nominal capacity. They won't obviously hold 50 litres in the configuration with holes drilled in them and that. Is the HLT's capacity while you're obviously underletting into your mash tun. You then got to refill it and warm it up again to get ready for your sparge, and obviously you need water around your coil to have an effective temperature maintained during your recirc. So my other question is, although I've never heard anyone say it's an issue, but I'm just thinking on the design level, I could have used the 70 as the HLT. I think I raised this question a long while ago because I had a 100 litre keg at the time, but that's just basically too large. They're massive. That wouldn't have really worked with my configuration with the ventilation. But the pot's basically dead. I've got another one to get rid of, which is an aluminium one, but you're looking at something that size versus a beer keg. So it may be at a later stage, if I have any issues, that I might upgrade and utilise the old pot. With that in mind, and Keg Kingdom having a 25% off sale, I thought, well, if I ever do, I could just go to 3 pots if I want to. But obviously it was a case of, well, they're never going to go down in price, are they? Stuff's never going to get cheaper. So I bit the bullet and ordered 2 more, with the view that I can basically just store them on the outside bit of the brewery on the upper shelf, make some space for them, and put them away for a rainy day project, as it were. So should we ever want to engage in a larger system, or we do find that the HLT could do with a little bit of a redesign, then I will configure a new system on pots and look at a little bit more precision where the holes go, as it were, because basically now it's just, you know, put a hole in the bottom of the pot for a tap, one in the top for a recirc, and wherever you can get the coils to fit. But obviously now looking at it with tri-clamp fittings and you know, hard piping as opposed to silicone, you need to put a little bit more thought into the position so that obviously fittings will marry up. Because my long-term sort of project would be to get rid of most of the silicone hosing and have a lot of it hard piped on tri-clamps. A bit like Paul Wicksteed's old system, if you remember the Time for Another One's. Most of his was piped through with valves and clamps and such like. So basically at the end of the brew day, once you've done your flush through and clean, you can disassemble everything and chuck it in some cleaner and rinse it out and have it all ready for your next issue on brew day. Bang, it's all ready. But obviously that's more expense with fittings and pipe. So obviously I've already bought that kit, so I'm going to obviously use it and sort of buy the bits and pieces as I go along. A bit like this bloody long build that I've never really completed through one factor and another. I think 4 years on, we've built a brewery finally, and now it's getting round to building the pots, which is still taking a bit of time, but there we have it. Rome weren't built in a day, as they said. Oh dear, right, I think I'm going to start tidying up because I want to try and do some of that stuff we call homebrew, strangely enough. I have an Oktoberfest kit that really needs doing. I got it cheap, it was out of date from work. We had some brew barrel kits that never really sold very well. So I liberated them from the discounted discount and then used staff discount. So I really want to bang one of them on, so even though it will be December the time I'm drinking Oktoberfest Marzen, I'm not too fussed. And I ordered the new Chemi-San Star San replacement from Malt Miller when they got it in stock and were doing it for half the price, so I ordered the big one and chucked a 8 kilo order of grain in just so I could have some fresh stuff on. And I'm just going to pull the old kit out for service, the old Coleman mash tun, and hopefully after the burnt out element on the Burco, we're going to press that into service as the boil kettle, and hopefully it will stay the course, and if not I've got another one, and if not I have to just go back and get the gas out. But it's just trying to fit it in with everything else. So, you may see, or not. Stay tuned, folks! Now I've got to find the bleeding remote. Right. Catch you later.